And we walked by that and I got a few feet along, and I could feel the tears just start to flow, and then I had to pull off the sidewalk and sit for a while because I just felt so sad. Clogged? Is it all clogged?
Yeah.
Okay, be careful, it's getting really windy. Feel the cold air?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's like freezing. It was just so hot. Currently have a possible tornado watch. So it doesn't happen a lot here. So I'm out videotaping the weather because I'm a little bit of a weather enthusiast. Look how how dark it is over there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Whoa. It's getting really creepy. Back inside the house now, so forgive the screen, but it's getting really scary out there. Like all the lights went on for the solar stuff. It's not sunset yet. It's so early. It's like nighttime. Look at the sky out here. It's very yellow. Wow. There's cold. Really cold. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today's June 25th, and I'm just relaxing. Dogs went to the groomer. Everybody looks spiffy. They're sleeping. Where's the other one? Right down here. One. The other one's over there. They are exhausted. Thomas went back to Boston today. He was here, gosh, since June 12th, because he came home and took care of the dogs and the cat and the house and everything for us when we went to California. And we were gone June 13th. Well, I was gone June 13th through the 22nd. John was gone June 9th through the 22nd. He went for work ahead of me for a week, and then we met up in Orange, and then we hung out with the kids and spent time with the baby, and then we went to San Diego for 2 days, went to the zoo and saw family. It was all a good trip. Yeah, but since I've been home, I haven't been feeling the greatest. I have I think I have a little cold, or maybe it's just my sinuses, because it's been very hot here, like hot and humid, 10 degrees hotter than California was, so it's been a little hard adjusting back. And I could feel this feeling that I'm getting familiar with coming on around Sunday. I was exhausted from traveling. We got in at 3 in the morning Saturday because of a layover, and not a layover, a delay. And then I just started to feel kind of sad, and I get like anxious. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a weird anxiety comes over me, and my brain can't seem to stop turning. Like I'll start thinking about, oh, maybe I should sit at my desk and do my bills, or maybe I should, make a list or go over my checklist or look at the chores and the things I need to do and schedule, or maybe I should do something for myself, or maybe I should clean my room or sort this or do that or walk the dogs. I have all these different things, including things like maybe I should pull out my journal, do some painting, read a book, go outside, stay inside. I don't know. Just like all different things. And then I find that I can't do anything. It's like I go into this like hyper-vigilant, non-stop cycle of, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. Well, what about that? I don't want to do that. What about that? I don't want to do that. And then all of a sudden, I just feel it. It's like I just lose it. The crying, the missing Daniel. My life is very different, so I'm trying to adjust to it, and yet I don't have an easy time of it because it was forced upon me, first of all, so it's very much a traumatic change. And usually when you're doing things in your life, you're doing them because of purpose or a reason, or to care for your family or whatever. But I am struggling quite a bit because I don't know what to do exactly. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm not gonna I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I really don't. It's just, everything just seems so exhausting. That's the other part of this. On top of all of that, I have incredible fibromyalgia pain, and my sciatic nerve from the disc herniation, or the slip in my disc, is silly, ridiculously debilitating. I did okay in California as long as I managed it with some medicine and took lots of rests. I got through the zoo, and it wasn't until the end of the day that I just kind of over fatigued myself. But it plays a mental mind game. I remember having when I first hurt my back, I fell in 2018 is when I injured my back. That sciatic pain post that accident was absolutely horrendous. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function. The burning, the pain, couldn't walk. I mean, it was just bad. So this is more like a very pinpointed area in my back and then in my leg that just feels like 1,000 flames are in there burning. It's like and electricity is what I'm trying to think of. I'm really groggy. Anyway, last night, all of a sudden I just started crying. I got into bed and I was just sobbing. And I said, I felt it coming, John. I think I knew this was going to happen. And he's like, yeah, I could tell. And then I just cried and sobbed. And this morning, I didn't feel well. I felt like I was going to throw up, like stomach sick. So I don't know what's what and who's what and what chawula. The whole thing is this cuckoo. I feel like I am crazy, even though I know I'm not crazy. I've read enough and realized enough that I know this is actually typical. It's okay to be not okay. But there are times when you really think, okay, I gotta try to have some normal life. When I was in California, I just saw something like drop out of a tree, like out. What bird is that? Oh, it's a hawk or an owl. It was an owl. I got owls. Oh, by the way, I saw a family of owls. I'll include the video. I was walking the dogs the day I got home, morning after. Maybe like 9 o'clock in the morning, in the backyard, way back, I saw something fly, and I'm like, oh, that was an owl. So I looked to see if I could see it on a tree. So I'm poking around the corner by the willow tree looking, and all of a sudden it's looking at me. It sees this owl head, and it was like, whoa. So I pulled my camera out, and then it moved, and I followed it to where it went, and then it was on a branch with like 3 other owls. So there was a whole family of them. And I've seen them now because I think they have a nest in one of those, trees right into the woods there that are very old and like have all rotted. Because I keep seeing them, even in the midday. Like I just looked down and saw an owl that just like dropped into the Pachysandra and then took off. So I was probably looking for a mouse or something, because I know there's a lot of little chipmunks and mice in there. Yeah, the wildlife here, it's crazy. It's really crazy. The bears, the foxes, the rabbits, the owl family. Anyway, it was very cool and very special to see an entire family, because I hear them at night, but I never see them. And there I was, just standing there for a long time, and they were just hanging out. It was really cool. Anyway, I was just saying that sometimes, I try to push myself, using all of my tools of gratitude and intention setting and self-care and all that, I did well in California with the family. We had a lovely time. I only had one really big episode, when we were at the zoo. We were walking by the elephants, and then like the elephant building where they care for them, and coming the other way there was a young man with a family, I guess, pushing him, and he was in a wheelchair, and his affect reminded me of Daniel. He looked like Daniel would have looked like if we had him at the zoo. Same kind of wheelchair. He had a bib thing around. He had the little floppy hat like we used to put on Daniel, and we walked by that and them, and I got a few feet along, and I could feel the tears just start to flow, and then I had to pull off the sidewalk and sit for a while, because I just felt so sad. I have little triggers, but we did have a really fun time, and I enjoyed being with my grandson. He is amazing. I love him so much. I love Sarah and Tyler and visiting with them. I love California. It's so gorgeous. Everything was really nice, and we got to see some family and go to La Jolla and go to like a different area. We went to Del Mar, and then because we flew home from San Diego. But anyways, my grief is complicated, and I'm trying to figure out how to get myself healthier. And I started my weight loss journal. I'm on this weight loss medicine. I don't know how I'm doing yet, because in California I didn't really track, so I waited till I got back to start the journal. I didn't do too bad though, but I'm not going to stand on the scale until I go for my follow-up, because I want to do the best I can and then see what that looks like, rather than freak myself out. I just wish I could exercise more. And if I didn't have this pain in my back, I'd probably be moving a lot more. It's just I don't like to be in pain, so I tend to not be in pain by resting. Like, I know all the things I can do, but I know that I need to keep moving and to keep building core strength. So I am going to join the gym. I decided that I'm going to go where John goes. I used to go there. It's not far. It's like right in the same complex as where my pool is that I go to. So I'm going to keep going to the pool, but I also join the gym because in the summertime, the pool can be kind of manic with the summer camps. They use the indoor pools. Unless you go in the afternoon, that's not so bad, but I don't like to do my pool workouts with, 3 million kids screaming, yelling, jumping, splashing. They're just really very, very unstructured chaos. Honestly, it's quite dangerous. But I like to, at least be able to not have kids throwing things and hit me in the head with those pool things you die for. I get cranky. I get cranky like an old lady, and I'm not an old lady. I'm not. Ooh, my new tiller came for my gardening. Very excited. Very excited. Can't wait to open that box, Henry. For my gardens. I did a little bit of weeding yesterday, but it got real hot again. Super hot. Everything's withering already. Might have to do a little more watering. Come on. Hot, hot. Grass needs to be cut. This is kind of my little start of my my Daniel garden. He used to like to sit under here and play with the wind chimes and things hanging. So I have my wind chime from my friend Robin, and some of the blue pinwheels that we had at his funeral, an angel, and just some pretty flowers. It's a very shady little spot most of the time, so that's pretty good. I thought this plant had died, but it's been popping back up again. It's a raspberry frost longwort something. And also I have a similar plant that I thought was gone. See it there with the white spots? And that one's also coming back. I think something ate the early growth in the spring because they're spring blooming flowers. But look at that. They are fighting back. I love gardens. Especially lately. I get lost out here. And where am I going to use that tiller? Well, after I get all these weeds out, I need a helping hand with this because I can't do it. I just can't do it all. But I want to plant more things in here and make it a really precious pollinator garden, I guess. They make this really weird noise. Where is it? It's in the tree somewhere. On the ground, maybe? Dude, man. Oh, he's up there. You can hear it. It's like a weird noise. Why? I wonder why they do that. Can you guys hear that noise? Don't come after my doggies, okay? Because they're good. They're gonna bite you. And he just flew right over my head. Darn it, right after I turned the camera off. Ah. It's like a squeak. I think that's how they talk to each other. There's one. Hold on, guys. Hold on. There he is. Right there, Sam.
Out saying,
Hi, everybody.
Hey, it's going to make sure that doesn't strengthen, and it's not.
I have a hobby.
Right now.
Okay, so after Daniel died, I started doing a lot of things. Some things that I had been doing before, like painting and writing and all that. But other things I kind of dug into a little bit that were different, like using the resin to do resin casting. And also, I mean, I've always been fascinated by tornadoes and weather, but not to a higher degree. But with more time on my hands, I started watching YouTube videos, and then I'm like, well, oh look, there's live YouTube. Then I'm like, one day I'm sitting here and I'm like, John, there's these guys who are on here doing live streaming of storm chasing, which I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like a whole community of different weather enthusiasts, and some of them are, you know, actual meteorologists. Some of them are just people who are knowledgeable or just want to chase and share the information and that kind of thing. So I started watching a lot of different ones and kind of gravitating towards certain ones, and so I just was sitting here watching while I had my lunch, and I thought, I'm going to tell you guys about my interest in the weather. And I've just started learning a lot about how to read the radar, and you know, different radar programs, how to see, you know, which way the storms are going, how tornadoes are actually made, what storms do or don't do, you know, and that kind of stuff. So, and not just storms, just like weather in general, like why is it so cool and dry and clear here today, or why is it freaking ominously, oppressively hot like it is right now here in Connecticut. It's so hot. It's so hot. Anyways, I'm very interested in the weather. Why? I'm 58 years old, but when I was a little girl, my mother told us, now my mother she died in January of 23, so 22, right? January 23rd, 2022. But she was in a tornado in Worcester, Massachusetts when she was a little girl, and I looked it up, and I'm like, sure enough, it was like 1959, something like that, in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it was a big, destructive tornado. She used to tell us about it because it traumatized her, and of course back then, you know, people don't deal with, you know, the trauma that you go through, so she just was so afraid of thunderstorms. Anytime there was like any darkening in the sky, she would get really scared and tell us about, get it to the basement, you know. So my whole entire childhood I was traumatized by my mother's experience, and then I started having nightmares about tornadoes. And when YouTube came out, I remember, because, you know, I'm older, so I remember before the internet and before having your phones with apps and things to watch like YouTube. But when YouTube first came out, all I did was watch like people who were uploading videos about their experiences in tornadoes. And John used to say to me, Julie, you gotta give yourself nightmares. And I was like, I don't care, you know. But I kind of saturated that. After a while, I started doing my own channel and started having a life, doing stuff, being busy, taking care of Daniel, of course, and then, you know, just here and there, I would watch when something big happened on the Weather Channel, but I don't know what kind of pulled me back, and probably because it's a very good thing to fill up some time so you're not like ruminating too much, you know. So I was watching this one day when I kind of first came across it, and I'll never forget it because I'm like watching, and there's like a tornado in Texas, and there's this one young man, his name was Freddie McKinney, and he's like young, like in his, looks like he's like 20 something, and he's out there driving his car chasing the tornado, and he was in kind of in a remote section of Texas, and he just happened to come across a family who had just literally been hit, loaded them into his car, and they drove to the hospital. And it all happened live on the live stream. And I'm sitting in here, and John and I are in our recliners, and I was like, oh my God, that's like, and he's like, what's the matter? I'm like, come here, you know, and those people, he just took them to the hospital. Like, this just happened. When he drove up the driveway, the tornado was still like, it looked like you were watching a movie like Twister. Like, it was still going past the property. You could see it in the distance. And the family ended up being, I think, okay. They had some broken bones and some injuries, but he was there like before even first responders could have even been called, and he took them to the hospital. And yeah, so that was really, and then they took it down because, of course, a lot of personal information, and his live stream was running from his car, so he didn't have it shut off right away. So anybody who happened to be watching that day saw it happen, like in real time. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious. So sometimes the storm chasers, it's kind of boring. They're just driving through Texas, or driving through Kansas, or driving through Nebraska or Colorado, wherever. But I'm like watching, right? And I'm going, this is really kind of cool, because like you're driving with them, looking at what it looks like. And when you live on the East Coast in Connecticut under trees, and the like, it's a very different climate and environment. So anyway, I thought that part was cool, and I also thought it was impressive that some of these folks are out there creating a living for themselves, using their creative brains and their resources and their entrepreneurship to take a tool like YouTube and their phones and cameras and whatever gear they happen to be able to have and afford, and take their cars, and they risk a lot because they drive into hailstorms, and just like record and upload and stream and share. And they really do help a lot of people, because the radar isn't always accurate, and you get somebody who's like actually right in a storm, their information would probably later feed into more research from someone else, and maybe more income for them as it gets watched and viewed more and more and more. So that's really impressive. Just like anything that people live stream. But weather is a big deal in this day and age, with global warming and storms getting worse, seas are rising, things are changing. So, you know, I think everyone kind of gets on the edge of their seat when something really bad happens, like a super bad hurricane or something like that. So, so that's kind of what happened with the whole weather thing. I don't get on here every day, but I did become a member of, so I watch a whole bunch of these guys. I just did a search, storm chasers, and the ones that came up, and I watched a bunch. But the ones that I really liked were the ones who were very respectful and interacted with their audience, and didn't take crap from people. You know, they set boundaries, and that's good. I'm just a little mom out in the middle of the universe somewhere, trying to cope and learn things and manage, and it's very intuitive. So life should be intuitive when something interests you, as long as it's healthy. It's not dangerous. You know, listen to your intuition. If it tells you you should paint, or you should do something, you can think about it. Why am I wanting to do that thing? You know, it's it's just very intuitive. So one intuitive building block towards another one can often lead you to some kind of a synchronistic event. But just listen to your gut, and if for some reason my gut was like, stop shopping on Amazon and find something to do that is a little healthier for you. And I'm not obsessed with the weather, but I just find it interesting. So I even go outside here. In my channel over the years, I've probably recorded storms and rainstorms and snowstorms and blizzards and things like that, because clearly I love being outside and I like that just as much as I like the nature tying to the earth and the stuff like that. So is that weird? I hope I'm not weirding people out, but anyway. Okay, I can see you right there, looking at me. Hello. Hello, little owl. Thanks for letting me see you. I think you're a baby-ish. Look at the leaf. Look at the beautiful feathers. Watch. Watch. Oh, try to hold him steady. He's looking right at me. Hi. You gotta be careful though, you don't want them to attack. So I'm not gonna get any closer. And I'm zoomed all the way in. Does not seem to be afraid of me, and he's pretty low to the ground, so. They do go out in the daytime, friends. It's 3:20 in the afternoon. There he is. Right. And they're still out here. There were two of them. One right in the front yard. Look at him, look at me. Hello. Hello, Mr. Owl. Gosh, I can't even take the dogs out. They've been out here for 2 days now. God, he's so big. Oh boy. Okay. He's kind of coming this way. I don't know where he went. Let's go the other way, guys. I guess I better go in. Alrighty. I was sitting outside for a minute, just relaxing.